Hi, Teri here from Stamping Magic. Welcome back to my channel. Today's project is this very sweet card box, and it holds 4 of our note cards and envelopes. I've used the Jar of Flowers stamp set together with some of our Colour Collections Designer Series paper. The box opens on the reverse, and here are the note cards and envelopes. The Jar of Flowers stamp set has 4 separate flower arrangement images, so I've created one card for each of those. And here are the envelopes. These are the note cards and envelope packs, and they come in sets of 20 of each. The cards measure 5 inches by 3.5 inches, which is 12.7 centimetres by 9 centimetres. So let's get started. These are all the measurements you need for all the elements required to create this project. So if you are interested in reproducing it, you can take a screenshot and refer to it later. I'm using Poppy Parade cardstock for my box, and I'll use 2 pieces, one for the base and a small piece for the lid. I'll place my cardstock with the longest side across the top of my scoreboard, and I'm going to score down at 3/4 of an inch, 4.5 inches, 5 1/4 inch and 9 inches. Then I'll turn my cardstock so the shorter side is across the top, and I'm going to score down at 3/4 of an inch. For the lid, I'll place the shorter side across the top of my scoreboard, and I'm going to score down at 2 inches and 2 3/4 inches. For the closure, I'm going to use 2 balmy blue 1/2 inch circles. Now, you don't have to have 1/2 inch specifically. You can use any small circle die or punch you may have. I'm going to pierce a hole through the centre of each of the 1/2 inch circles, and this will be so I can place the brads later on. On the lid, I'm going to now mark the position for the brad, and this goes on the longer edge, and it's the side opposite the 2 score lines. So I'm just going to mark the halfway point, and this is approximately 1/2 inch or so up from that edge. I can now pierce the hole where I marked it, add a brad through the 1/2 inch circle and position it onto my lid. Now you can use any brads you have to hand for this. I'm now going to use our detailed trio punch and round the corners either side of where I placed that brad. Then on the opposite end, on the first scored section, I'm just going to slant cut each side of it, and then I can fold and burnish on both the score lines. On the main section, there's a small rectangular scored section on the bottom right. This I'll remove, and then I'll slant cut either end of the 1/2 inch tab above it. I'll also cut up each of the score lines along the base to create tabs, and slant cut either end of those as well. The lid will be attached to the left-hand section, which will be the front of the box. So I need to use the lid to mark the position for the other brad on the back of the box. So I'm just placing it at the top, just hooking it over the top edge of the box, and then I'm going to mark the position for the brad about 3/4 of an inch down from the lid edge. Then I can pierce the hole and place my other 1/2 inch circle with the brad attached onto that back section. I'm going to cover the prongs of the brad just by using a little piece of tear and tape adhesive, and this will make sure that the cards don't catch on the prongs as you put them into and bring them out of the box. I'm also going to mark the halfway point on the top of the back section and just mark it with a pencil. And then I'll take my 1.5 inch circle punch and punch out a part circle on that top edge. And this will help you remove the cards from the box. I can now fold on all the score lines and burnish them with my bone folder. The lid can now be attached to the box, and I'll do this just by adding glue to that bottom 1/2 inch tab, and then I'll place the front section of the box on top of it. And then I can add glue to the remaining 1/2 inch tab on the side and close the other end on top of that. For the base of the box, I'm going to fold in the back tab first of all, add glue to the remaining 3 tabs, and then I'll fold the 2 side sections in first and then the front tab. I can then place my cards and envelopes inside the box, and then I'm going to use a short length of linen thread to form the closure. I'll be embossing the Whisper White panel for the front of my box using the Coastal Weave 3D embossing folder. Now for the note cards, which are embossed on the front, you need to be a little more careful when doing this. So I'm going to place the score line on my note card against the edge of the pattern on the embossing folder, and you want to get this as exact as you possibly can. And then once you're happy, you can run this through your die cutting machine. This is the Jar of Flowers stamp set, and today I'm using this floral image, the stems, the jar and the half jar. Now 3 of the images in this set are reversible images, so you can either stamp them so you get the detail or stamp them so you get the block image. I'm going to stamp my outline images using basic grey ink, and I'll start with the flowers, and then I can stamp the jar. Next I'm using the little half jar image, and this is one of the reversibles, so I'm making sure I've got the detailed side down on my block and the smooth side uppermost. I'm going to stamp this with Pool Party ink, and I'll ink it up and then I'll stamp it first of all onto some scrap paper and then over my full jar, and this will give a lighter tone. Then I can use Granny Apple green ink to stamp the stems. I have another length of linen thread here, and I'm going to tie this around the jar and into a bow. And this is about 25 centimetres, which is 10 inches. I'll add just a little bit of tear and tape onto the back of the jar, and this will hold my bow in place. I can then lay the linen thread across the adhesive and then flip it over. I'm going to add a mini glue dot to the top centre of the jar. This will help secure the bow on the front and also help me tie it by keeping the knot in place. I have my embossed Whisper White panel here and also a balmy blue mat to go underneath it. And then I have some of the Settles Colour Collection Designer Series paper and another balmy blue mat to go underneath that. And that's it, my box is now complete. I think it looks really pretty. And here's another quick look at the cards I created. Now the red is from the Brights Colour Collection Designer Series paper pack. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Bye for now.